A weather watch alert tonight. One round of storms moving out after a report of a funnel cloud in Litchfield County, but another one is on the way. The latest timeline and what to expect tomorrow ahead.
Tonight on Connecticut's news station, family and friends are calling for justice after a missing woman's body was found in a river. What they want police to investigate tonight.
Also, the governor is about to sign a bill to make health care more affordable in our state. We'll hear from lawmakers about how that legislation aims to do it.
Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, begins with a weather watch alert.
And we begin with strong thunderstorms expected to return to parts of Connecticut overnight. Good evening, I'm Jen Bernstein.
And I'm Ben Goldman. Thanks for joining us here tonight at 10. The humid temperatures have made the weather pretty unstable lately, and that trend is continuing on this week. Let's begin things tonight with meteorologist Ryan Breton in for Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank. Hi, Ryan.
Ben and Jen, good evening to you. Hi, everyone. We had one round of storms come through around 5, 6 o'clock, mainly in Litchfield County. Most other places have not seen much other than a random downpour or rumble of thunder, but the storms that went through Litchfield County were impressive. In fact, there was a report that came in just about an hour and a half ago that an emergency manager in Winstead spotted a funnel cloud around 6 o'clock right near Route 44 to the east of Winstead. And here's a look at the radar at that time. You can clearly see the core of the storm was right over Winchester and Winstead. No sign this made contact with the ground. However, there were other damage reports from Litchfield County, reports of trees down and also some hail in some spots. Right now, we are in the middle of a break. There are a couple of random showers in the northeast part of the state and a few rumbles of thunder right along the Rhode Island border from Killingly to Putnam over into Burrillville, Rhode Island. But now we're waiting on round 2, which is coming in really to the tri-state area at this point, and there's more action in Pennsylvania. And this will be sliding east over the next couple of hours. The real question is, how strong will it be as it moves in? Here's a look at the timing. About 11 o'clock, beginning to move into Fairfield County. By midnight, it's really just the western part of the state. But for many of us, we'll have some downpours and rumbles of thunder coming through around 2 or even 3 in the morning. And this may be pretty noisy as it passes through. And there is a small chance there is an isolated severe storm within this line as it passes through. Tomorrow's weather looks a lot better. Still very humid with just an isolated shower or storm, but turning mainly dry for the late afternoon and evening. Much more on tonight's storms and a look ahead to the weekend, too, coming up.
All right, thank you, Ryan. And be sure to scan the QR code to download the free Fox 61 News app. It's a great resource for live radar, hour-by-hour forecasts, and severe weather alerts sent right to your phone.
Well, new at 10 tonight, people in West Haven are calling for justice nearly 4 months after a missing woman's body was found in a river. Friends and family of 29-year-old Roya Mohammadi want the city's police department to further investigate her death. They held a vigil for her tonight, and Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner was also there. DeAndrea joins us live in West Haven. What else do her loved ones want police to do here, DeAndrea?
Well, they want them to know who she was as a person, and they just want them to take a deeper dive into this investigation. They're saying that it's foul play, and they also want public officials to hold police officers accountable into furthering this investigation. To her parents, Roya Mohammadi was their firstborn child. To her friends and colleagues, she was a translator and aspiring marketing professional.
Roya had a tremendous impact in this community. I mean, she has been here, I think, since 2019, but it feels like she's been here a lifetime. This was her community, her chosen community.
Mohammadi was a 29-year-old Afghan immigrant who called West Haven home. The same place she called home is where her life ended when police found her body near a river in West Haven just 1 day after her colleagues reported her missing in March.
The weekend was spent breaking the news to the women in our community who knew her closely, trying to be there for each other as we all dealt with the shock, anger, and sadness of what happened.
Now, almost 4 months later, those same colleagues, along with community members and her family back home in Afghanistan, are advocating for her death to be investigated on a deeper level.
They're not taking her life or her death seriously, and they're ignoring the fact that she was a victim of ongoing serious domestic abuse that West Haven Police has plenty of documented evidence of.
The call for a deeper investigation into Mohammadi's death comes after an autopsy determined she drowned. In a vigil on Monday, Monday, those closest to her disagreed with the autopsy. They argued Mohammadi reported a history of domestic violence over a span of 2 years and told West Haven police she feared for her life.
It's not okay for the police to devalue Roya in this way. And so we're here to uplift Roya's story. We're here to stand in solidarity with the family. We're here to stand in solidarity with all victims of domestic violence and to let them know they are not alone. And we will not let this kind of injustice go on.
Now, we did reach out to the police department about those accusations of domestic violence, and we are waiting to hear back from them. For now in West Haven, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, DeAndrea, thank you. Well, new at 10, a man is dead tonight after crashing on Route 138 in Griswold. State police say it happened at the intersection with Oakville Road just before 9:30 this morning. 73-year-old Zenon Zawatsky from Griswold was driving east on 138 when an oncoming truck hit him head on. The other driver was taken to the hospital for evaluation. 138 was closed for about 5 hours as a crash reconstruction unit helped with the investigation.
We're hearing from neighbors tonight living near the site of a crash in the town of Brooklyn that killed a teen girl. State police say that 15-year-old Chanel Edwards of Griswold died early yesterday morning. The car that she was in failed to stop at the intersection of Allen Hill Road and Route 205. It hit a tree head-on and went down an embankment. Neighbors say the intersection in this part of town is dangerous.
We've only been here 2 years, but in the 2 years that we've been here, there have been 2 fatal accidents within a mile of our house. The cars go really fast.
4 others were also in the car when it crashed. 3 are 17 years old, including the driver, and the other person's 21. At last check, 2 of those people were in critical condition.
We have an update tonight on a serious crash in Orange. We now know one of the victims has died. He's been identified as 22-year-old Miguel Rodriguez of Willimantic. It happened yesterday afternoon at the intersection of Derby Avenue and Racerbrook Road. Police say 19-year-old Jeremy Rodriguez of Bridgeport ran a traffic light and hit a truck. 4 others were also hurt in that crash. Rodriguez is charged with DUI and reckless driving.
2 Middletown firefighters are recovering tonight after being injured while putting out a fire at a machine shop. It happened yesterday on Liberty Street. Officials say the flames spread from the shop to a home next door. The injured firefighters are expected to be okay. 7 adults and 1 child were displaced by the fire. Investigators are still looking into what caused it.
Well, new at 10 in your Health Watch, Governor Ned Lamont is set to sign a bill into law that looks to make health care more affordable for people in Connecticut.
That legislation has several different ways it'll try to achieve that goal. Fox 61's Gabby Molina spoke with some lawmakers who worked on the bill. She joins us live in studio. Gabby, what did they have to say?
Well, Ben and Jen, it's a very lengthy bill and it has a lot of different components, but the overall goal is to cut down on health care costs and do more research into how to lower them even more. With rising costs all around, healthcare is no exception.
We talk about the cost of living. The cost of living has been going up, but the cost of healthcare is going up at much faster rate.
Lawmakers are trying to address that, passing a bill with bipartisan support to help reduce those costs, starting with the price of prescriptions. It creates a drug discount card program that's available to all Connecticut residents.
That makes you eligible, obviously, for the lowest cost drug that is available here in the state of Connecticut.
The state will be able to join others in buying prescription drugs in bulk to help ensure those lower costs. The bill will also create a study into the relationship between pharmacy benefit managers and the costs of prescription drugs. Also, if a drug has increased at a rate of over 16%, the state will now be looking into why that occurred.
Does it have to do with the flow of goods, the supply chain, or what are the factors that are requiring such a vast increase in the cost?
The bill also looks to make it more affordable for people when they need a medical procedure, reducing facility fees that hospitals often charge.
Allowing the facility fee, but also not allowing it in certain areas so we make sure that the cost to the patients is better controlled.
Lawmakers say almost 14% of residents go to federally qualified health centers to receive medical care, and this bill takes steps to protect those.
If we did not intervene, the federally qualified healthcare centers would no longer be able to function in our state.
The governor is set to sign the bill into law tomorrow morning at the Capitol. Coming up on the news at 11, I'll have more on why lawmakers say this bill is just a first step at addressing the cost of health care. In the studio, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Gabby.